Hello, world. Leslie Solan speaking to you. Hope everyone's all well. Today will be a very mellow talk. I'm not always a ranter, although I can get that way quite often. Today, I'd like to talk about low-level employees and educating public officials and the public. I have a bit of a concern when attempting to win hearts and minds of those who just haven't been instructed on the nuances of the Constitution that many of us are aware of. But please keep in mind we weren't born with this wonderful knowledge that hasn't been taught by our school teachers, higher education, colleges and universities, our public officials, the police. Everyone seems to want to hold us in ignorance and to have a populace unaware of our rights. It's left up to us, those who carry cameras and constitutional advocates who want to share this knowledge. We had to learn it at some time. So we need to control our egos a little bit, especially being a movement of alphas. But low-level employees really don't deserve our direct wrath. It's fun. It's good for clicks. Sometimes we educate and we say, they're taking the walk of shame. I'd like to have an alternative. How about taking the walk of the newly informed or the newly educated to win hearts and minds and not to simply have them even angrier and fester more because no one likes to be told they're wrong. It takes a lot for someone to change their mind. It can't be done in a single fell swoop. It takes time and patience. That's our job. It's not about us. It's about educating them. We already know what the law is. We'd like everyone to follow a single set of laws. I think that's the goal, if I'm not mistaken. Everyone learns in a different way. For sports-minded people, some people can simply learn by watching someone swing a bat. Others have to study the physics of every motion. Some of us have to have someone hold our hands to swing a bat, just like boys like to do that, taking girls out on their first dates at the miniature golf courses. It's one step ahead of swinging your arm around the date when you're at the movie theater. Heart goes pumpity, 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 pump. Remember those days when you were learning about new things in life? Let's try doing the same for adults who don't know about the law and are set in their traditional ways and want to be left alone and are frightened about change, like their power positions, don't know anything. They don't know about exchanging their temporarily loaned privileges in return for their rights, which they get back when they take off that uniform or position and become a member of the public again, one of the people, an individual. As soon as we work for somebody and are given rules, we've lost some of those rights that we cherish so much, but we volunteered to do that in return for getting money so we can pay for food for our family and survive and have some quality of life to pursue our pursuits of happiness. Please don't come down too hard on low-level employees. If you want to put in letters of complaint, do it with their supervisors who did not teach them, who did not instruct them, as well as HR departments, personnel departments, and the legal department. Put the complaints into them. They think they're right. That, of course, is always the case until they learn that they're not right. And that's our job, to bring them along gently so they want to participate. The same with charity. Just given is not the ultimate form of charity. It's when we can put someone in a position where they can now be charitable themselves. Let's do that for these lower level employees by teaching their supervisors and forcing them to pursue a single set of laws above policy. Let them know the difference. They don't want to learn. They're old. They're over 20. Actually, today, people are being indoctrinated from kindergarten. They think that they're independent thinkers by acting contrary to who they think the man is. And I find this somewhat within our same isolated and insulated movement. We're actually a bit of sheeple within our own movement when we get jumping into every conspiracy theory that comes our way, because we're so against government, which we need, by the way. We just need to have it in control. Once you get more than 250 or 300 people, no longer a utopia. You have to start making rules and regs once the moment Robinson Crusoe met Friday. Albeit it was not exactly on the fairest terms, but still rules and regulations and even limitations for Crusoe, because his responsibilities were now increased, being responsible for Crusoe just as I'm the demigod for my fish tank. I try to treat them responsibly. World is complex. So please don't mock and make public officials who haven't been taught. The time to teach them, hello flag, the time to teach them is at point of application and hiring. I'm glad you came for this position. Did you know that being a public official actually demands you give respect to citizens when they come in, and you don't talk back to them just as you wouldn't talk back if you were a servant as a waitress or someone cleaning another person's house that they're paying you. You hold your private editorializing to yourself. When you're on your own time, you're welcome to speak your 1A mind or quit your job. So give a little forgiveness for low-level employees who don't know any better because they weren't born with the knowledge apparently everyone else was born within this movement. We've forgotten. Do you remember the day when you found out about simple things that are profoundly obvious once we sit to think about them, such as there's no expectation of privacy in public, and that photography is not a crime? Be kind, be patient, win hearts and minds, always be educating without alienating whenever feasible, but protect your own rights. I'm not saying to roll over and show your belly up to everyone. Be proud, but don't show your ego. Just as we tell others, don't let your ego get in the way. That means us too. I wish you all well.